the reaction here in Washington, first of all, in Congress, even from members of Donald Trump's own party, from Republicans, has been, from many of them, to criticize this decision by President Donald Trump. Many of those senators fear that there could be higher costs as a result of these tariffs. That might impact the U.S. manufacturing industry, and that could cost jobs. They also fear that there could be some sort of retaliation from other countries if these tariffs are indeed imposed. Now, it's worth noting that a top Chinese economic advisor is in Washington at the moment, meeting with White House officials today to discuss trade. Beijing is likely to not react very favorably to this decision from the president. They have in the past threatened to impose or to curb imports of US soybeans in retaliation if these tariffs were to go ahead. And even allies of the US, like the European Union, they've said that they would consider imposing some sort of retaliation if the US were to impose strict tariffs. The big fear for allies of the US and for big multinational corporations is that these sort of tariffs could disrupt economic and security ties for the United States if they were to go ahead. Now, the details are still being finalized. The White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders emphasized that. But it looks as though President Trump does want to see these steep tariffs imposed, and it looks as though he's got his way.
Harry, it's no surprise. I mean, this was something he talked about on the campaign trail for a long time, and even once he got to power. But it's taken him this long to finally announce something. Why do you think he's announced it now?
Well, we know that there has been these various factions within the White House. So lots of proponents of free trade and other advisors to the president who have had more protectionist views. And the president has seemed to go back and forth on his trade policies throughout his time in the White House. But you're right that his personal long-held view has been that there should be strict tariffs imposed on imports. He feels that the U.S. manufacturing industry, US manufacturers have been hurt by imports from other countries, in particular China. It looks as though President Trump now, more than a year into his administration, has decided enough is enough. I want these tariffs imposed. He made this announcement today, and it looks as though, if we are to believe the president's word, those tariffs will come into effect at some point next week.